Hey Legacy Builders, welcome back to Mind Your Money. In today's video, I'm doing a mid-month budget check-in. So I lit a candle, it's early in the morning, and I use natural light mostly for my videos, so I hope it's not too dark and shadowy. I'm going to zoom in and talk about the date. The check-in date is the 18th, okay? You probably won't see this until the 19th, but I think it's still good to do a mid-month check-in. This is my mid-month check-in worksheet from my 12-month simple budget planner. I printed this out in black and white to use in December, but I will switch to using the actual planner in January. So at mid-month, the income that we have from income one, which is my husband, so I'm going to write hubby here, was $2,197 so far. That's just the first 2 weeks. And then my income, I'm going to put wifey here, is $3.04. Then we have extra, anything else that could come in, gifts, random money, interest on one of our accounts, that sort of thing. $53.09. And savings used too. We did use some of our savings for Christmas to pay back some charges. So I think something came off. I want to make sure I can reference both the first and second paychecks of the month. So I'm going to take those out. So the total, when I added this up, came to $22.53 and 13 cents. $21.97, $3.04, and $53.09. Yeah, so that math is right. And then we have the expenses at mid-month. Now my oopsie, I did see a oops here. I put actual expenses, which would be, right, these bills / expenses here, that bucket. I put actual savings, which would be our savings bucket here on the paycheck budget worksheet. And then actual cash or miscellaneous, which is again this little bucket here on the paycheck budget worksheet. I forgot to include investing, or I didn't separate it here, but what I'm thinking is just including the investing in your expenses. If you do invest, you could still do that. And then including the giving in expenses if you want to do that. It's not a fixed, let me see, like set of rules. Mid-month budget check-in is basically just for those who really want to stay on top of their money, especially if you're tend to be a spender, or if you're not sure, am I paying all of my bills on time? How much am I bringing in? Do I have a goal for income? Do I have a goal for how much I save? This could definitely help. Those sort of things help me. So maybe there's someone out there who this would help. So that's my oops for the expenses portion of this check-in worksheet. So I included investing, giving, and my purpose funds in my actual expenses, and that totaled $19.12 and 35 cents. The actual savings between paychecks 1 and paycheck 2, $196 and 74 cents. The actual cash or miscellaneous, there was no miscellaneous these first 2 weeks, just cash, $144. So that total came to $2,253 and 13 cents, or so I thought, if I added it up correctly, but I might be off by some change. Yeah, I'm off by 10, 11, 12, 13, 4 cents. I don't know why I'm off by 4 cents, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about 4 cents. It's just about equal because I do a zero-based budget. Now, to break down the expenses that we've paid, we've filled up this whole bucket because I just wrote what we did for paycheck 1 and paycheck 2. So I started with paycheck number 1, right? And I looked at the bills and expenses and I copied it here. And then I did the same thing for paycheck 2. I just went and looked, what did we pay in paycheck 2? What did we put aside in paycheck 2? And then I wrote it here. So now we just have to total this up to see what the cost of our regular expenses and bills were for the first 2 weeks of the month. $1,581 and 84 cents. I'm going to try it one more time just to make sure I get the same number. Yeah, $1581.84. Okay, and let me get my highlighter because I want to see that number. Or I'll give it a minute to let the ink dry, and then I'm going to highlight that. Now let's check the savings. Savings breakdown for the first 2 weeks of the month. $247.25. Okay, that's the savings breakdown. And then for giving / charity. Again, this is breaking it down, but it could be included in your expenses at the top if you wanted to track all of the things that left your account. So to break this down, or to get the total amount that we gave in the first 2 weeks, $280. So I'll write that in here, or right here at the bottom at the total. Then cash / miscellaneous. And that bucket did total $144. It's just cash. We didn't have any miscellaneous expenses in the first 2 weeks of the month. I'm zooming you in instead of zooming you out. So let's look at the whole worksheet. At mid-month, our income was $22.53. And I think we budgeted for $4,400. So knowing that, let me just subtract what we actually brought in or used. And so we still need to earn at least $21.46 for the next 2 weeks. We saved $196 so far. Well, why did I put my actual savings at $196? Okay, so now I'm getting to see where I made an error. So I saved in week 2 $100.85, and then we saved $95.89 in week 2 or week 1. So $95.89 plus $185. Yeah, I forgot to include the purpose fund. Remember, we saved $50.51 in week 2 so we could get ahead of one bill, and that was the electricity bill. So I included it in my savings breakdown, but I forgot to include it here. That's why there's a discrepancy with those two numbers. In reality, it's still a savings. It's savings to use later on. This next month's bills, $50.51. So the real number is $247.25. We gave $280, and we took $144 out in cash from the bank. And that's our mid-month check-in. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. I'm trying to make sure that I continue with the December Vlogmas, a video pretty much every day until Christmas. And let me know if you do a mid-month check-in. How often do you check in on your budget? I know some of you who I watch on YouTube do a check-in every week, some every 2 weeks because you're paid bi-weekly. I enjoy getting paid every week. I feel like it helps us really to stay focused so we don't overspend, so we pay down this debt, and so that just helps. It's just helpful to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to highlight the totals for the buckets now. The ink should be dry, so we can at least see that clearly once you look at the bottom. $15.81 of the income we brought in at mid-month went to expenses. $247 went to savings. $280 went to giving, and cash was $144. All right, so let's see how we do for the rest of the month. And I'm excited to close out December so we can get into January. I hope you're looking forward to my December budget closeout. I'm looking forward to hear from you in the comments. Thank you so much for being here. Continue to mind your money, manage it well, and live your lives abundantly. Bye for now.